boys and girls, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to talk about, first of all, how hard it is to focus during a math exam, especially when you have ADHD like me. And then I want to give you some awesome tips on how to prepare for your math exam and how to actually attempt writing it. So if you're excited, make sure you hit the like button. By the way, my name is Seppi and I'm the founder of Helix Academy in Toronto. This video is dedicated for the best research and practical advice you could use in and outside of school to become your limitless self. So for more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so you never miss a video from me. Have you ever felt like when you're writing your math exam that the smallest thing could actually distract you? For example, somebody could cough or somebody could be chewing gum and you would lose complete track of your thought and you'd forget what you were going to write. Because of this, it is very important to communicate this with your teacher or professor ahead of time. You should provide them with a doctor's note or a parent's note if they require it. Then you should ask them politely if they would allow you to write your exam in a private room and have more time to answer the questions. Please don't be shy to ever do this. I went through my whole university journey being shy and scared that if I asked them, they would think that I'm not smart enough or I'm trying to cheat their system, but that's not the case. The chances are your teacher already knows about how ADHD works and they'll be more than happy to help you out with it. People like me who have ADHD are great creators, business owners, entrepreneurs, and we're pretty much really awesome people. But memorizing a lot of boring equations and math questions isn't one of our strongest suits. But don't let that be an excuse. Albert Einstein, Will Smith, Walt Disney, and so many other famous and accomplished people have ADHD. So make sure you follow the next steps to improve your memory. Number 1, always make a cheat sheet. Make sure you write down all the equations that are important in that specific chapter you're working with down and label it with a green color. If you're not sure how to study math when you have ADHD, make sure you check out the video that I'm gonna link above here and down below in the description later to really put everything together. Wear your favorite essential oil on your wrist when you're studying math and also when you go to your session to write your exam. Researchers have shown that smell brings back memory pretty quickly, so it will definitely help you out. Most people with ADHD like myself prefer to study in quiet spaces, but recently I was open-minded to give focus music a try, and I've been using it and it's been incredible. So make sure you give that a try and let me know in the comments what you think. I know this is hard, but you have to make sure you're both calm and excited at the same time, because people who have ADHD won't do well with things they're not excited about and if they're not in a great mood. So take a shower before your exam, pack your stuff the night before, get ready, do some stretch, meditate, yoga, and make sure you get a good night's sleep. So when you're packing your stuff, make sure you take 2 pens or pencil, 1 colored pen or highlighter. You want to take your calculator, your cheat sheet if you're allowed one, and your essential oil. When you wake up in the morning, you want to review your equation sheet. Then you want to make sure you have a great breakfast full of brain foods like avocado egg toast. And then you want to perform a silly HIIT exercise. It could be jumping jack, it could be burpees, it could be a bunch of them mixed together. I will get back to this point a little later in this video, but make sure you perform these 3 things in the morning before your exam every time. Our brains usually get so excited and anxious when we want to do something that we just jump into it really quickly. This superpower works against us when we're writing a math exam, so we need to understand how to use it. When you receive your math exam paper, this is what I want you to do. I want you to close your eyes, take 5 deep breaths, and say a little out loud, not so loud so people think you're crazy, but just a little loud so you can hear yourself, and say, I will read every question twice if not 3 times. And make sure you read the instructions. You have no idea how many times I've skipped my instructions and then I realized I didn't have to answer all the questions. So let me show you what I mean.
Okay, now that we are on my laptop, I want to show you an example of a question that we would see on an exam paper. So here we have a question, and what I want you to do is to read the question twice. So I read the question twice and then I will highlight the parts that is important. So it's thrown from a window of a building, so therefore it has the initial height and it follows a path shown by this equation, right? So this is the equation it follows, and what I want to do is I want to start writing what I have. So at this point I have my initial height, which is where my t is 0, so h of 0 is going to be 60 meters. And then I also know that it's going through a path. I always want to make sure I have a picture of my question if it's possible. So in this question, I have my h of t versus time. And what I want to do is to actually draw a picture. So if it has an initial height, then it has a maximum and it falls back on the ground, which is here on the ground, which is h equal to 0. So what I want to find out is that what is the initial height? So I want to find out what height I have here at t equals to 0, which I already did. So this very first line that I wrote here is actually answered my part A. And then for part B, it's asking me how long does it take before it hits the ground. So I want to actually understand what the question is asking me. So at this point, I want to find out what T is because we're looking for how long. T is something that I'm looking for. And then this is before it hits the ground. So this is very important. So I'm going to highlight that. And before it hits the ground, meaning that before the H is 0. So my H of T is going to be equal to 0, and I'm looking for this t. And this is pretty much a format, the way we write things. So what you were given on the left hand side, there's a picture on this side, and you're going to write your solution here. And you want to keep that the same for the rest of your school life.
When you're solving the questions on your actual exam, there are a few things you want to remember. You want to make sure every time you get a little small answer, you put a square around it and write down in English what it means. If your answer doesn't make sense and you don't have time to redo the question, make sure you explain to your teacher what you would do if you had more time. Also, when you get stuck with a question and you're so close to getting the answer and you know that you could do it, but you can't focus on it anymore, just leave it. Put a little mark with your colored pen on the side, go through the rest of the exam and come back to it later. Do not ever, and I mean ever, handing your paper early. Why? Because our brains skip through small stuff really easily and we make a lot of calculation mistakes. So what you want to do is to review your exam and make sure you punch in the numbers into your calculator again to make sure you got the right answers. If people who get up early bother you, it's okay. Don't get too competitive. Always think of them as people who are failing the exam and they just didn't know what to write, so they just gave up. It always helped me. I have included a free guide, and when I say free, I mean free. There's no strings attached. Download it and use it. The link is in the description and it will help you clean up your diet, start exercising, get motivated, and read a bunch of books that I recommend as a bonus to you. This is a very helpful and useful guide that I've put my time and effort into for you guys so you can use it and become limitless in and outside of school. Especially if you have ADHD, it is crucial to follow a healthy diet and exercise. So make sure you download that and let me know what you think of it. Please don't forget to support my new YouTube channel by watching my whole videos, liking them, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell button so you never miss a video from me. I think I've included everything, right? Okay, good. Perfect. So make sure you do that and I'll see you guys next week.